Hey guys, so I'm gonna talk about Cabin Girl. At least that's what I call her. One night, probably a few years ago, I think it was roughly about 2 years ago, I was laying in my bed trying to get some sleep, and I couldn't go to sleep, and I kept having these images of this young girl. I mean, I'm guessing that she was malnutrition and nourished, so she may have been older than what she looked, but she kind of looked between 11, 12 to me. Brown, knotty hair everywhere. It ain't been brushed, and I don't think it's ever been brushed. uh, Wearing a long sleeve white kind of button down old t-shirt. Not really t-shirt, like just like them older shirts, old time shirts. And these dark brown, beat up, almost like corduroy pants. Uh, she had like smut all over her, like dirt, smut, all up in her hair, all over her face, all over her clothes. I don't even think she had shoes. I don't remember if she had shoes. But she seemed pretty wild. Like wild in nature, not wild like she crazy. She might be, but we don't know. I didn't stick around too long to find out. But anyway, so this image kept popping up with this girl, and she's standing on what looks to be a porch area. But there's no concrete or anything, it's ground, but there's the post and the overlay where it would be a porch, and then there was like a house that we were standing, like she's standing on one corner and I'm standing on the other corner in this. And I'm like, I already know what's happening. Like, I'm like, look, I was trying to go to bed. I wasn't trying to communicate with nobody. But you seem pretty determined, so. Alright, what we got going on here? And so I'm like looking around at all the details of this encounter. And first of all, she was pretty scary. Not like in an evil way, but like just she was giving me some mean looks, like, not sure if she wanted to talk to me, or if I don't know if she liked me, or I don't know what was going on. But she did have, like, it looked like a little shotgun or something in, like, one of her hands. But it was small. It was, like, really old looking. Like, I'm assuming it was a shotgun because it had, like, one barrel and it was pretty thick on the end. But I'm no gun expert, but all I know is, like, I don't want her to shoot me if I, like, make her, like, mad. So I was very cautious in movement in this vision and stuff like that, because when, at least for me, if I get damaged or hurt physically in an out-of-body experience, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes I wake up with those marks on my physical body, and I don't really like that, so we're going to be very cautious. So she's staring at me all crazy and stuff, and I'm like, okay, so what's going on here? Why am I even here? You obviously are trying to communicate with me. Why are you looking at me crazy? So this cabin, or this White House, it has windows on each side and the door in the middle. And I kind of noticed that it looked like smudge, like there was a fire. So it's on the windows, like kind of coated, and the window sills are kind of darkened. But the house looks like it originally was white, but it's been wore down, not taken care of very well, so it's kind of like faded and there's not really much paint. It's run down. And so I'm like, okay. And we're in the middle of the woods, by the way. Like, there's nothing but woods surrounding this cabin or this house. So I'm like, okay, I definitely can't call for help. Not that that would help on the other side, on that factor like that. But, like, it's pretty remote kind of area here. Um, so I kind of try to take a peek inside. Not by moving, just mentally taking a peek inside the house. And I noticed that there was remnants of what seemed to be a grandma figure cooking in the kitchen. I could smell her, like she was trying to make, like, I don't even know, like bacon or something. I don't know. It smelled good though. I don't know what she was cooking, but it smelled good. And I think a grandpa figure, or a male figure anyway, was sitting at like a square wooden table, like in the kitchen, and he was kind of jokey and having a conversation with the lady that was cooking, and it felt kind of homey with that little vision, but then it kind of faded real quick, and I noticed that the house looked like it had a fire in it, and kind of mentally walking through it, you can see pieces of furniture burnt, walls, there used to be walls, fire had eaten those away, studs here and there. Some of the house, even the outside wall, was burned through on the side. It was a pretty bad fire. I'm hoping that those two people in my vision were not in there at that time. I mean, I didn't get too much detail on them. But so the girl outside, she never really spoke. She did growl at me a few times. I'm not sure if she even knew English or verbal communication skills. I don't think whatever time period she was in, or shall I say, the time period she was in the living situation she was in, if she even went to school or anything like that. So I'm not really I'm having a hard time communicating with this entity. So the best I could do was just stand there and kind of stare at the surroundings and pick up as much information as I can from visuals. She made herself pretty clear though, and I think she was not related to the entity or the people that were in the house that I had, the visual glimpse of. She wasn't actually related to them, but this house, I got a few little mental information from her, that this house, or at least this land, used to be her family's, and she was too young to go with the boys or the guys, like her dad, brother, whoever, how many people there were. It was a very trying time period or living situation. Like, they had to go hunt for their food. They didn't have money, obviously, by the looks of her appearance. So she was to guard or stay at the house, cabin, whatever, and make sure nobody trespasses or takes what they have. you know, the little bit that they do have. So I guess she was kind of like a guard dog. I hate to put it that way, but that's pretty much what her job seemed to be. And I'm not really sure why she contacted me to show me all this, but when I'm awake, by the way, the whole time it's going on. Like, she's literally not letting me go to sleep. So I get up and I draw a really bad sketch of this girl because my drawing skills aren't as good as they used to be. But I managed to get the most details from it and took a picture and sent it to one of my sisters. And when I texted her, I didn't know that she had a friend over at her house. At least I think that her friend was over at the time. Because she replied back that, first of all, the girl was creepy. I was like, yeah, she is. And I told her about, you know, the incident. And a few minutes later, or maybe it was the next day, she texted me and she said, hey, my friend knows exactly who you're talking about. She's seen that girl when she was young. I was like, really? Okay. Tell more. You know? And she knew what property I was talking about, which happened to be this friend's grandparents' property. And there was a fire. And I described her grandparents. But the entity, the little girl, many of the family members, mostly in their youth, had seen her walking around when they stayed over there. She was not living like that they, you know, she wasn't a living person that they met and knew, but they knew of her and have seen her wandering the property, you know, around. So I was like, oh, crap, okay. That's interesting. So I'm not really sure exactly why she came to me with this information, or, you know, to show me this stuff. But I did talk to a friend briefly about it, and she seemed pretty, I mean, she was smiling, so I take that as a good sign that she was happy that, mostly to talk about her grandparents. So I'm not sure what happened with the property or anything, but I do know it's still in their family, and that they had gone out there recently, within the last like year or so, and done some stuff to it. It could have woke her or made the entity feel like it needed to reach out. I don't know. But over and all, I think that the family is doing good, and nobody ever seemed to get hurt by her. So she may be just like the land protector at this point. I mean, she's not wandering past. She's not trying to hurt people. She looked creepy, and she looked scary, and she looked like she needed a bath. But she's not attacking people. At least not that I know of. With the information that I got, she has never attacked anyone. So, and she seems to show herself more to the younger certain family members. So I'm assuming they're just going to let her do her thing, and hopefully everybody lives in harmony on that one. So, yep, I will will see y'all on the next run.